Entomology is simply the scientific study of insects. It is a word that might sound complicated, but its subject is wonderfully familiar to all of us. Insects are everywhere. The tiny creatures that crawl on the forest floor, the buzzing visitors to our gardens, and the silent architects of intricate worlds hidden just out of sight. They are animals, typically with 6 jointed legs and a body divided into 3 distinct parts. Their diversity is staggering. Countless shapes, tiny to giant sizes, vivid colors, each perfectly adapted to its own unique way of life. This guide is meant to be a gentle introduction, a first step on a journey of discovery. We will begin with the simplest of ideas and gradually explore more complex and fascinating aspects of their world. Why should we take the time to understand these small beings? The answer is that their importance is immense, far greater than their size might suggest. Let us quiet our minds, open our eyes, and prepare to be amazed by the intricate and essential world of insects. So what exactly makes an insect an insect? It is a fair question, as the word bug is often used for all sorts of creepy crawlies. True insects, however, share a very specific body plan. Imagine a tiny suit of armor divided into 3 main sections. First is the head. This is the insect's control center, housing its brain. A pair of complex compound eyes that see the world in a mosaic of images, and often a few simple eyes as well. The head also holds the antennae used to smell, taste, and feel the environment. Finally, the head features a variety of mouth parts: chewing, sucking, piercing, or lapping. Connected to the head is the thorax, the powerhouse of movement. It is to the thorax that all 6 legs are attached, hexapoda, which means 6 feet. If the insect has wings, they are attached here. The muscles that power a bee's frantic wing beat or a grasshopper's hop are packed into this robust segment. The final, often largest section is the abdomen. Here lie the digestive system, reproductive organs, and the respiratory system with spiracles that lead to a network of tracheae, delivering oxygen directly to cells. All these parts are protected by a tough exoskeleton. Unlike our internal bones, this supportive structure is on the outside, excellent for muscle attachment, protection, and water retention. But it does not grow. To get bigger, an insect must molt, shedding the old exoskeleton to form a new, larger one. Now that we understand the basic form of an adult insect, a new question arises. How does it come to be? The journey from egg to adult is one of nature's most dramatic transformations. Many insects undergo complete metamorphosis, with 4 very distinct life stages. It begins with a tiny egg on a suitable food source. From this, a larva hatches, a stage all about eating and growing. A butterfly's larva is a caterpillar, a beetle's is a grub, a fly's is a maggot. They look nothing like their parents, dedicated eating machines that molt as they grow. Once fully grown, the larva enters the most mysterious stage, the pupa. Some spin cocoons, others form chrysalides or burrow into soil to pupate. Inside, the larval body is broken down and reorganized. Legs, wings, antennae, and complex eyes develop. When the transformation is complete, the adult emerges, no longer focused on eating leaves, but on sipping nectar and finding a mate. This 4-stage cycle lets young and adults use different foods and habitats, an ingenious strategy to avoid competition. However, not all insects undergo such a complete overhaul. Grasshoppers, dragonflies, and true bugs have incomplete metamorphosis. Egg, nymph, adult. A nymph looks like a miniature, wingless version of its parent, eats similar foods, and molts multiple times until the final molt reveals the fully formed adult. With bodies and life cycles understood, we can appreciate the insect world's diversity. Over 1 million species are named, with many more to discover. Entomologists group insects into orders based on shared traits, like wing structure or mouth parts. One of the largest groups is Coleoptera, the beetles. Their hardened front wings, the elytra, shield delicate flight wings beneath. Beetles are found from deserts to rainforests, including familiar helpers like the ladybird. Lepidoptera, butterflies and moths, have scale wings, thousands of tiny overlapping scales creating vivid patterns. Butterflies by day, moths by night, both are vital pollinators, sipping nectar with a long proboscis and moving pollen as they feed. Perhaps no group is as socially complex as Hymenoptera, bees, wasps, and ants. Many live in highly organized colonies with strict division of labor. Queens lay eggs, males mate, female workers build, forage, and care for the young. Their collective impact is enormous. Diptera, the true flies, have one pair of wings, the second pair reduced to halteres for balance. This group includes houseflies and mosquitoes. Hemiptera, the true bugs, use piercing sucking mouth parts to feed on plant sap or other animals. Odonata, dragonflies and damselflies, are ancient, agile aerial predators, renowned for speed and acrobatic flight as they hunt other insects. While major groups give a broad view, it is rewarding to know a few specific species personally. One of the most famous is the monarch butterfly, renowned for its multi-generational migration to winter in a few fir forests in central Mexico. Another incredibly important species is the honeybee. Living in large hives, they collect nectar and pollen, pollinating a huge share of our fruits, vegetables, and nuts. The red imported fire ant is an invasive species in many regions, known for a painful sting and massive colonies that threaten wildlife, agriculture, and people. On a positive note, the ladybird beetle, or ladybug, is a voracious predator of plant pests, a cheerful and helpful garden ally. Mosquito, the tiny fly whose bites can transmit serious diseases. Silkworm, the larva of a moth whose cocoon gives us silk fabric. Mealworm, a beetle larva widely used in research and as food for pets. Each of these familiar species carries a fascinating story, and noticing them turns a backyard into a living classroom. How do scientists study insects? Methods range from simple nets and pitfall traps to ultraviolet light traps at night. Much work happens in labs. Microscopes reveal mouth parts, wing veins, and tiny hairs. Scanning electron microscopes render stunning surface detail. Genetics revolutionized entomology. DNA helps identify cryptic species, track invasions, and clarify relationships vital to conservation and agriculture. Ingenious tracking, from miniature radio transmitters and microscopic bee tags to drones surveying swarms, reveals movement and behavior. Insects are not simple automatons. Their lives span solitary hunters and builders, perfected by camouflage, mimicry, and foraging skill. And social superorganisms, ants, termites, bees, and wasps, organized into castes that build, defend, forage, and raise the young. They coordinate via pheromones, trails to food, alarm signals, and plumes that males can detect from miles away. Cricket songs, firefly flashes, and the honeybee waggle dance convey precise information. Our relationship is ancient, complex, and contradictory. We depend on them, and sometimes battle them. 1 in 3 bites of food is thanks to pollinators: bees, butterflies, moths, flies, and beetles. Dung beetles clean pastures. Predators and parasitoids control pests. Yet locusts devastate crops, termites chew timber, and outbreaks can decimate forests. Some insects transmit disease: malaria, dengue, plague, sleeping sickness, making control a global priority. We harness silk, honey, dyes, biological control, and research models like the fruit fly, a genetics cornerstone. CRISPR enables precise DNA edits and potential gene drives, like modifying mosquitoes to stop malaria transmission, while raising deep ethical questions. At the same time, studies warn of insect declines from habitat loss, urbanization, pesticides, and climate change, spurring citizen science and biodiversity-friendly farming. In a recent achievement, biologists used insect silk to create biodegradable, biocompatible electronics, hinting at more discoveries ahead. The future of insects, and ours, rests in our hands. Plant native flowers, reduce pesticides, support sustainable agriculture, and share your curiosity.